Hello friend, it's Tonton. Today we're gonna talk about the Tundra Arms League, which is a Foundry tournament. I'm gonna just focus on the registration part. The key things you should know. So you can make a quick video. I think it's an important one to really consider things. It's not that as simple as that. I have made a video when we had the S1 of Tundra Arms Leagues, which was only for the very first few states, which I kind of cover it all in details. It's a 64 Legion tournament over 2 weeks. So there is an elimination week where 4 alliances qualify for the finals and stuff like that. So it's like a big tournament with very cool skin. I'm not gonna review all of it today. I have a video guide that I will link in the description. And I have a written guide on my Discord as well for that. So that part, like the event explanation, is already covered, and that's another video. Today we're gonna talk only about registration. So the first thing you need to know is that it will be a 3 weeks event. So next week will be registration, and I will talk a bit about that more, what you should do in that video. Then during SVS prep, so that will be the registration. Then in 2 weeks from now, you will have the first phase, which is elimination. So you will go from 64 legion to 4 legions, and then the third week will be for the 4 teams, basically the 4 legions, to fight against each other, to find the 2 finalists that will go to the final. That will be in 3 weeks. And that means that if you register to Tundra Arms League, whether you lose at the first match or whether you go to the final, you're not gonna be able to play the next Tundra, the next Foundry, the regular Foundry. So you will have to choose. So if like the way it works with the tournament, to explain it very quickly, is like if you lose, you are eliminated and you do not progress further. But the first match will be Monday. Then there will be a match Wednesday. So that's 64 alliances that you do. It's like similar like Foundry. The same map, the same rules, everything is the same. It's just a tournament format, right? So Monday you will have 64 Legion fighting, and the matchmaking is selecting the 64 Legion. So that will be important to remember. It's not the 64 top alliances, it's the 64 Legion, and you can have 2 Legion per alliance. So Monday you have 64, then Wednesday you have 32 because half are eliminated, then you have 16, then you have 8 on Sunday, and at the end of Sunday you have 4 left, which will be for the finals the week after, right? And you have up to 3 matches the week after if you go to the final, between 2 and 3 matches. So that's in total, if you go to the final, that's 6 to 7 Foundry matches within 2 weeks that you will do in the middle of the week, not only on Sunday. So that's that's a lot of Foundry. That's crazy. That's gonna require a lot of speed ups, a lot of teleports, a lot of buffs. These teams gonna go very insane about it if they want to win. So that's something you have to understand. If that's too much Foundry for you, then you can always opt out. Do not register to Tundra Arms League and chill and do the regular Foundry next Sunday. It's the first time we have it ourselves, so I don't know what will be the matchup in 2 weeks from now, but they might be a bit easier because all the important players, they will be in the tournament, right? Everyone that cares will be in the tournament. So you will have to register. So the way it works, again, what I said was 64 top legions, so not alliances, legions, that you register. You can register up to 50 people. It's 10 more than the regular Foundry. So you register 30 people and you can have 20 backup, basically. And that's really important to register a full team because it's a tournament. You cannot cheat the matchmaking. If you register with 15, you're not going to be in an easier tournament version of the tournament. You're not going to be with the best and the strongest teams out there. And the matchmaking is taking the top 20 players for points. So you could technically register, like I mentioned, on the regular Foundry with 15 to hope for a better matchmaking like we do regularly, but that's not going to work because it's a tournament. So everyone's going to register with 50, and that's what will be necessary because there are 2 reasons for that. What you want to have a 50-player roster is because you will have up to 6-7 matches, so not everyone will be available every time. When you register, you select 3 times. So similar to Foundry, you select either 2 UTC, 7 UTC, so AM in the morning, 12 UTC, noon, middle of the day, 14 UTC, or 19 UTC, right? And you will select 3 of these. Your opponent will select 3 of these. So at least one of these will be matching. There will be, so you might play one day at 12 UTC, the day after you might play at 19 UTC, the day after you're gonna play at 14 UTC because your opponents will have different time slot than you, right? And always one in matching. So that's why it's important to register with 50 people, is because you need the backup. And if someone get burned, if someone gets road, they can get out for 12 minutes and you can have someone else joining, so you are not like 25 on the battlefield anymore. So that's really important to try to find the strongest player you can and players that are available for the next 2 weeks at these days on this time. So the first week, the matches are Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, and that will be the elimination week. So you will move on only if you win to the stage. And then the week after, it's going to be Tuesday, Thursday, and the final will be Saturday. So that's kind of how it works, and all of that you can spectate it. So if you have it on your stage, you can go online and spectate any matches, so you can see the strategies they use. So that's kind of an overview of the event that I wanted to make very short. I have a video that goes more into depth, right? So what I wanted to talk about today, particularly now that you kind of have some context, is how to register. And you have mostly 3 options, and you will see you can mix them. Either you do like a big alliance, so it could be your state alliance. So for us, we have from state 948, so we have an alliance called 948. So we are talking is like, do we register 1 legion in 948? Do we register 2 legion in 948? And you pick the best player of the top 4 alliance for us, but that could be 2, 3, 4, 5, depending on how many you have on your states. Put them into one alliance and register there, right? The other alternative could be to just register with your own alliance if you are very strong and hope for the best. The challenge here I find is that it's tough to get 50 very active people that will be able to play all week. If you register with your own alliance, if you don't do like a state cooperation on that, I'm not sure you will get 50 active players. That's one of the challenges. The third option will be to pair alliances. So that's a cool idea I had today. So I don't know if it's cool. I find it cool. I don't know if you liked it, but it's like, let's say for us, we have 4 alliances. What we could do, we could do 2 alliances. So A plus B, and we could do C plus D. So we do the weakest with the strongest. And so number 1 and 4 together, and maybe number 2 and 3 together, something like that. And we will have that tournament regularly. So one time you like A and D are paired together, for example. So the first time they do the Foundry tournament in Alliance A, and then the next time they do it in Alliance D. So every alliance has a chance to take part of it, and you kind of move player around between 2 alliances. It's less movement, it's a bit easier. So I see mostly these 3 options. You might be able to do like, you do your state alliance for the main legion that you want to register. So like your strongest 50 player of your state, and you want to register a second one, maybe more for fun. So you merge actually 2 or 3 alliances. So you can mix and match these. That's 2 options I can see. So instead of merging 2 alliances, or you could merge 3 for that, and you do first tournament you do in Alliance A, second tournament you do in Alliance B, and third tournament you do in Alliance C. Right? You can rotate. So that the main 3 options you have. Understand that, for example, if you play Frost Dragon Tyrant, what they do a zone of states. So they take 50, 100 states, they put them together. What they do in Tyrants, like the more states, the more slot for alliance there is to be. So we've seen like 85 and 60. So for us, the first Dragon Tyrant we've done, there was 60 alliances on the battlefield, and you could be selected if you are in the top 60 in terms of power. And the next one, because the range of state was a bit bigger, we had 85. Here, depending on the groups, because you have 64 legion and they cannot do the tournament format. So the tournament format is locked to 64 people because you go from 64 to 32, 32 to 16, 16 to 8, 8 to 4, 4 to 2, and 2 to 1. And that's your final, and there are up to 7 rounds, right? So that's just simple as that. So they cannot make it, one tournament will be 80, one tournament will be whatever. Like it's meant to be 64, so I believe it will only be 64. So what it means in terms of matchmaking is, if the range of state is bigger, it will be a lot more competitive even than Tyrants. So then you might want to consider one alliance for your state and focus on one legion. And again, it's not the power of the alliance, it's the power of the legion. And the power of the legion is defined by the top 20 player, like in Foundry. You can see it. It's all in the rules. I've seen it. I've read it last time. We went through it on camera. There is a video about it. There is a written summary on my Discord. So, you don't have to take my words for it. It's just all written here. So because of that, it could be a lot more competitive than Tyrant, or it could be a lot less because, let's say, you have less states. You have somehow, because they will put together the same generation of heroes with the same generation of building. That's how it works for SVS matchmaking. That's how it works for Torrent matchmaking, they are pairing people of similar power, and that's based on building levels and hero generation. Else, if you are paired with someone, you know, you are Fire Crystal 8 and they are Fire Crystal 10, and you are Gen 7 and they are Gen 9, like, you're not gonna win, right? It's totally unfair. So they merge based on that. So depending on the date of the events, more or less states are with the same heroes as you and the same building as you, right? Because these are bigger cycles. So you might have some matchmaking that are a bit easier because there are a lot less states in the pool. And we will start to understand that, you know, now, because the last time it was a very small amount of states. So it was really hard to see the matchmaking and how it works. It was like the very first few states of the game, you know, like it was up to state 100 or something. So it was not a big pool. Now it's like, I don't know, I've seen people, we are 948 and seen people is 1,600-ish getting it, and maybe even in the 2,000. So the pool is a lot bigger. So we'll start to understand how they are matching the servers together and all of that. But you could, if you feel that your matchmaking is a bit light because you don't have that many states, then maybe try to register 2-3 alliances. Maybe you do one very strong legion, and then you do like chill for points legions. And then, you know, if you are the opposite, if you are in a very strong, like there are a lot of states and you are really worried, then, you know, go for one. Maybe use one alliance. Either is it your state alliance or you just join one of the stronger alliances, right? And when you select players, really just do not think about power, because it's totally pointless to have one of your stronger players that cannot play in the week because they are too busy to work. Like some spenders actually have very busy lives because they need to make money that they are spending. So they have like high-paying job, they are, you know, business owners and stuff. So you might want to check with your spenders like their flexibility when it comes to playing. And you know, it's the same for all of us. It's not because you're a spender that you have a more busy life, but many of us, you know, have kids, have commitments, have stuff, and you might not be able to play. So you want to find a balance between the stronger player to make it to the registration. And on top of that, you might want to get active player that can play on Monday, you know, every day of the week, basically, because the first week is Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday, and second week is Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, right? Depending a bit on you know, if you go up there. Maybe just quickly, why it will be worth competing. That's the rewards you get for the, you know, for the first alliances. So you have very good skins. Overall, you know, if you are the first alliances to win, you have like a statue, you have some banners, you have a different HQ, you have a different alliance banner. So like there's a big display of power and a big display of we are very good at it. So that's really cool. That's why, do you want to use your state alliance, for example? Because this will be on an alliance that nobody is on except for SVS and except for Foundry. So maybe it's cool. Maybe you want to use a real alliance for it, right? But you can still have everyone in it. And then you will start to have like, you see like there are 64 legions, so you can see the rewards. That's for the legions. So if you manage to go to the top 4, so the second week, you start to have, you know, good reward. You have a bit of mithril, you have a lot of currency for the shops. You have another shop as well, which I did not cover too much, so that I will take that opportunity to cover. I covered in the last video the event generally, right? But because we did not add it and I was really busy with real life, I did not cover like the shops and everything. So I'll make more videos about it. But today we talk about registration, but maybe why you should register is you're gonna get, you know, decent rewards. And even for the alliance that do not participate a lot, that's per legion. So that's 50 players gonna get 20 shards, 50 players. So you multiply that by 50 for your alliance, and you know their alliance reward as well, so they are not as good, but you can get a lot of tickets and vouchers that you can use in a shop, right? And as Foundry, you have rewards per match. So in the elimination phase, the first week, rewards are, you know, if you reach the same amount of points in Foundry, exactly the same. It's just the reward changing a bit, but you can get some of the marching speeds, because that matching accelerator, this will be very important. And there you get a bit less if you lose, you get a bit more if you win. And then if you start to go to the finals, you see that you start to get a lot more of these if you win, and a lot more of, still a lot more of these if you lose than the week before. But, you know, you don't get as much if you lose. So that's quite big. And that's why I was saying, like, you have mostly kind of, let's talk maybe one point to finish the video. If you're a very early stage and you have that kind of event, you know, let's say you are Gen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Even 6, 7, it's kind of still true. For us, it starts to be less true, and then when you are Gen 10, it's a lot harder. But these, you will have team of very strong players. So it will be very hard to go around and 0 people like you likely play. But if you are in the early days of the game, I believe it's gonna still be doable. So one of the strategy I would suggest, and we'll cover that more in later videos, will be to play quite aggressively for, you know, states that are a bit younger, to burn some people as much as you can. That's really important in Foundry. And, you know, every time we got crushed or we crush people is when we really managed to zero, you know, 10, 15 of their players. So they have to live for 12 minutes, and then you take control of the map, and, you know, that just, it's snowballing from here. But when you are start to be where we are, like Gen 8, 9, 10, it will be only very strong players, so you will not be able to bully little players, and people will know how to reinforce. We play the game for long enough. For the little I've seen in terms of like videos from the first tournament that happened, you know, in state 1 to 100, is that it's mostly like, you know, a group of teams, structured teams of people that, you know, they have like a few rally leaders, and they teleport and they take control of the map with rallies. So it's like garrisoning with proper heroes, it's rallying with proper heroes. So it's like you have a group of players, so that might be your strategy. You decide a few 3, 4, 5, 6 rally leaders. You can split the map in 2, in 3, in 4, assign building to rally leaders and rally joiners, and they move together, right? So, and you might want to be on voice to adjust, say, okay, you are rally leader number 3, but you are against rally leader number 1 of the opponent, so you cannot take any building. So you might want your rally leader number 1 to take your spots without changing your team or swap teams, whatever you do. And you are the rally leader number 3, you go somewhere where their rally leader is weaker and you have a chance, right? Things like that. So you want to have like a structure like that, but you won't be able to go around and zero people that much. You might try a bit if there are weaker players that go out of their base, but that's not gonna work. So you will need to think about like proper strategy, split the map, create teams, and that you have a chance to train on Sunday evening this week, because Sunday we will have Foundry, and then the tournament start next week, and then, you know, it's gonna be crazy basically. It's gonna get crazy. But that's all I wanted to say for now. More videos to come about Tundra Arms League, to cover a bit more about the shops and all of that and the strategies. But now you have an overview of the event in the previous video, link in the description. You have what to do with the registration. Yeah, and that's all I wanted to say. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.